California has introduced their new concealed carry law, which aims to make concealed carry next to impossible in the entire state. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you think the state of California needs to stop violating our right to keep and bear arms, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also, I want to give a shout out to one of the main supporters of this channel, which is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense liability protection. So if you carry a firearm, I highly recommend you take a look into USCCA, and I will leave a link to them down in the details section. So as I mentioned in the intro, in this video, we will be discussing the state of California's new gun control bill, which aims to make concealed carry next to impossible within the state of California. The bill we will be discussing in this video is SB 2, and it's essentially a copy and paste of a bill that California tried to pass last year, which was SB 918. That prior bill, SB 918, failed prior last year because it had an urgency clause in it, and because it had an urgency clause, it needed a 2/3 vote to actually get passed, and it failed by 1 vote. We all knew that after SB 918 failed last year that they would just try to copy and paste and reintroduce it this following year during the new legislative session, and that's exactly what they are doing. But this one has a little bit of some minor changes, but it's essentially the same thing. This bill is obviously very concerning because if it passes, it essentially makes a concealed carry permit useless because the new law has so many sensitive location restrictions to where even if you have a permit, you still can't carry anywhere lawfully. So what is actually going on within this bill, and how is it going to change the CCW permitting process and the laws regarding CCWs and concealed carry within the state of California? Well, first, it removes the good cause language from the prior law that the state of California had used, and really that's actually what the Supreme Court commanded all these states to do. That's where they should have left this. They should have just simply removed the good cause standard, changed the structure from may issue to shall issue, and then left it alone. But of course, states like California aren't actually going to do that. They want to put in place restrictions that are even worse than the ones that existed prior. The bill first enhances the training requirements for a CCW permit. It changes the class time requirement for new CCW applications, and it enhances it from 8 hours to 16 hours, and then also changes the renewal process from 4 hours of training all the way up to 8 hours. So they are going to double the course times that are mandated for someone to either get a new permit or to renew their concealed carry permit. They're also going to enhance the type of instruction that needs to be given during that classroom time. They're including safe storage class time, more law instructions, a mental health section, and then you're also going to have to pass a written exam. But even before you get to take this insane course requirement, your application may in fact be denied because the bill is pushing for a determination by law enforcement agencies for people to essentially be of good moral character. Now, in this recent iteration of the bill, they actually changed some of this wording around. Originally, they came right out and said that you needed to show that you were of a good moral character. Well, of course, there was significant pushback to that because, again, that's a very subjective standard. And so the state of California then removed the good moral character standard and changed it to a qualified person standard. Now, in that prior iteration of SB 918, where they had qualified person standard, there was still a significant amount of pushback because, again, it's a subjective qualification. So in this iteration of the bill, SB 2, they are now going to push for something that is not a qualified person standard, but now they're saying that the issuing agency can issue a permit if the applicant is not a disqualified person. So really, again, they are just going to play a semantics game. They went from good moral character to a qualified person standard, and now they're saying it's a disqualified person standard. So again, really means the same thing, but they're changing some of that terminology around. Now, under the application process, you will have to do an in-person interview, and you will need at least 3 character references, at least one of which is actually a spouse or partner, or someone who maybe lives with you if that applies. Also, the agency that's going to review your application can look at all publicly available information, including all of your social media accounts and posts. So again, they're going to look at your social media. And that's one of the issues with this bill is it's not only going to impact Second Amendment rights, but it also reaches into other rights like your First Amendment rights, because here what this probably is going to do is chill a lot of speech. A lot of people are likely going to be targeted and denied permits in their applications because maybe they are posting something that does not align with the state of California's political preferences. And that's going to be used against you to deny your application because they're going to say you're a disqualified person. And also another concerning thing is that this bill is going to allow a licensing agency to require psychological testing if they want. But let's say everything goes your way, you are deemed not to be a disqualified person, you pass a course, you pay your fees, well, you're good to go, right? Well, not really. Under this bill, the state of California is now adding a super restrictive carry location requirement. Essentially, the state of California is doing something that Justice Thomas expressly stated in Bruen, states like California, New York, and New Jersey should not do. Justice Thomas expressly stated in the Bruen opinion that states like New York cannot simply make an entire area a sensitive location, but that's exactly what the state of California is going to try to do with this bill. The bill outlines that parks, various buildings, restaurants that serve alcohol, any government-owned property, places of entertainment, and many more areas are completely off limits for you to concealed carry. They also then throw in a catch-all provision, which essentially makes it so that private property, businesses will be off limits unless that property owner or the business expressly says that you can conceal carry at that location. The bill states that any other privately owned commercial establishment that is open to the public, unless the operator of the establishment clearly and conspicuously posts a sign at the entrance of the building or on the premises indicating that license holders are permitted to carry firearms on the property. Signs shall be of uniform design as prescribed by the DOJ and shall be at least 4 inches by 6 inches in size. So essentially under this bill, and every private property is going to be off limits unless the private business owner actually says that you can conceal carry on the premise or puts out a sign that says, yes, you can conceal carry at this location. That's how insane these bills actually are. This is a plain and simple concealed carry ban. The bill essentially aims to make the process and the application process so hard, make it very restrictive, make it so that many people maybe won't even go through the process, increases the fees, and just makes it a ton of hurdles for you to even get the permit, and then essentially makes your permit useless even if you get it because you can't carry at the traditional locations that we have been able to in the past. Almost everywhere is going to be off limits. Now, if I was a betting man, I would anticipate that this in fact will probably pass in the state of California. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't contact your representatives. Last time we were able to stop it, it was close last time, but this time definitely if you're a resident of the state of California, you need to contact your representatives. Let them know that you oppose SB 2 and that they should oppose it as well. Then I would also highly recommend that you guys donate to orgs like the California Rifle and Pistol Association, CRPA, who is actually one of the good groups in the state of California who is advocating for our rights. I will leave a link down to CRPA in the details section and in the pinned comment if you want to become a member. If you're in the state of California, again, I highly recommend that you join CRPA and also join your local chapters because they are the ones who are going to be litigating this once this passes in the state of California. Now, I would say if you're looking for a silver lining with all this, there is a silver lining in the fact that New York and New Jersey's version of this law have both already been passed and have in fact been challenged in lawsuits and halted by various federal courts multiple times now, and those enforcement of the law have in fact been halted. There have been TROs and preliminary injunctions that have been granted against similar bills in other states. So I would suspect that maybe something similar will happen here in the state of California if this passes and once there's litigation, but our first goal is to stop SB 2 from actually passing, so again, contact your representatives. So that is what's going on right now in the state of California. California has now joined New York and New Jersey in trying to pass a concealed carry law that runs directly contrary and is in direct defiance to the Supreme Court's recent ruling in Bruen. If I get any more information, of course, I will let you all know. If you like this video and you would like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm, and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of two-way news. As always, I want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach and educate more people than I could ever do on my own. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.